Hello, everybody.
What's up? We're
We
back.
are we back. We were back
We're back.
after wait. We were out for 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, for two
Do you mind
weeks.
telling us why? We
Yeah,
why were we out for 2 weeks? Where you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go?
I was in the Philippines and Japan for a 2 week vacation. Um, First time to go home to the Philippines in 18 years, man.
Was it 18 years? Has
18
that
years.
been that long? So
2007. Yeah.
okay, so you left. So we graduated in 2005, right?
Five. Yeah.
So you left 2 years after. That's what
Yeah.
happened.
2 years after. Yep.
Okay, and then you went to the U.S. and then you
Yeah.
haven't come back. That's the
Haven't come
first
back
time you came
since.
back.
Yeah. Yep.
So tell me. Okay, I wanna hear your very unique perspective on this. So, just to frame it into context,
Uh,
I went the last time. So I left the Philippines in 2010, I think,
uh-huh.
and then but I was just around. I was essentially a 3 hour flight away,
Mhm.
right? So I would come back every now and then.
Right.
It wasn't that hard for me. But ever
Mhm.
since I went here, I've been in New Zealand since 2015.
Mhm.
Um, I've only come back twice, really. So
Twice.
one was when my daughter was born. We had her
Mhm.
baptism there. That was 2015.
Yeah. Mhm.
We went there, and then I think I went before COVID, but I haven't come
Mhm.
back since.
That's it. Yeah.
So from someone who's been out of the game
Mhm.
since you said 18 years, right?
Yeah.
What was the biggest thing that you actually saw that was different?
Oh my goodness. So the biggest thing that I actually saw that was different in the Philippines is like how urbanized the Metro Manila has been. Like as soon as I stepped out of the airport,
Mm.
like outside Terminal 3, which by the way was my first time landing in Terminal 3
Oh yes,
ever since I was a kid, like when my family and I traveled, when we'd go back and forth from the US, we'd always land in Terminal 1, which was the old,
right. Which is the old
Ninoy
school, right? Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And so when we landed, it was my first time landing in Terminal 3. Right off the bat, as soon as you step out of the airport, you see like huge infrastructure, pass by hotels like Soler, like
Oh,
Okada,
there's a lot of them now.
City
Yeah,
of Dreams. I'm like, what the hell?
it looks like Vegas, right?
It,
It looks like a
look-
mini Vegas at night.
Seriously
Yeah,
looks like Vegas.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Even like Mall of Asia, the area around Mall of Asia is the first time I've been to that area because I'm a Quezon City boy, so Manila, Rojas Boulevard, that area near the airport, I would hardly visit that area.
we
But
barely go there. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Remember? Yeah,
we
it's
go
just
get
too
the thing.
far.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like what? I was like, it 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 felt like it felt like I was in uh a city that I know, but
Mm,
it's like totally different for me. Like
yeah.
when we were going around like Manila, Makati, Ortigas, you know, I would I would tell my wife like I know this place. Like it's familiar to me, but I I don't recognize it.
It's
It's
the
like
yeah.
you
It does
you
have the
you
feeling. Yeah.
recognize the overall environment, but you don't recognize the specifics. Like this establishment, like this was not there 18 years ago. Like this was not there 18 years ago. It's totally different.
It's like a different. So it's
Yeah,
probably a different country, a different place to you when you first saw it.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Hmm.
Because the first thing that shocked me in that place when I first came back, and this
Mm.
was recent, right?
Uh,
Because I've never
it's
gone to the Skyway before.
yeah,
So for context, right? Obviously Manila is very congested. There's a lot of
yeah.
people.
Very
I don't.
dense. Yeah.
Is there 100 million people in Manila? I don't know, something like
The
that.
whole Philippines were 100 million people. Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of them are
Like,
concentrated in
course.
Manila
Yeah.
because that's where all
Right.
the jobs are. That's
Yeah.
where it's essentially where everybody is, right? So
Right.
it's very dense,
Hmm.
and you kind of mentioned it. There's a lot of buildings. They're
Yeah.
trying to build up now because
Hmm.
there's no way for you to build across now. Is when you get when you try to get housing in there, there's really
Mhm.
no place for you to go
Oh yeah.
because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you just gotta buy
Mhm.
condominiums and whatnot because there's
Yeah.
really you can't if unless you go outside of Manila, you're not gonna get something that
You
will
get,
give you
yeah,
a
yeah.
picket fence or a
No, no,
garage or
no,
something
no,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's not really possible anymore.
Yeah, like even
So
my dad, like the property that my dad purchased, just as a retirement investment. It's not in Manila; it's in Laguna. So
yeah,
yeah, that's that far,
that's where it is. So
Yeah,
Laguna is maybe 2 hours away from the
for a
city,
couple
something
of
like
hours.
that,
Yeah,
more or less.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's kind of where it's at over there, right? So
yeah.
when I first got onto the Skyway, so they built the Skyway. I don't know when it was, but
Mhm.
it's essentially I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like a freeway in such a way,
Yeah.
right? Where
Well, yeah,
you have exits. It's a
right.
highway. It's on the
Yeah,
sky,
it's a
and
toll road. Yeah,
it's a toll
yeah.
road
Hmm.
that you're just gonna. The idea is you pay that much money to get on there
Hmm.
because there's just too many cars. If you don't use
Right.
it, you're
Yeah,
essentially wasting your day, right?
yeah.
So, but the thing is, people use it as a necessity so
It's a
much that
necessity. Yeah. Hmm.
everyone's there. There's still it's a traffic buildup in a paid tollway because there's just
Oh,
too many cars.
like
Tell us about what was your experience with the traffic over there?
fuck, man. Like,
How does
bro.
it compare to something like
Okay,
the
so
was it the 405 that's the hardest thing in LA?
all right. Here's the thing. Right, I live in Los Angeles, where it's LA is consistently ranked as probably one of the top five cities in the world which has the worst traffic congestion.
Yeah.
It's like literally. I think the statistic that they based it on was how many hours you spend on the road in a year. And LA is always on the top five. I don't know the number exactly, but I deal with it every single day. Like I drive 11 miles to work, one way, so it's like 22 miles every day, and I spend like what an hour and a half on the road every single day,
Right.
45 minutes, one way. But dude, like when I got to Manila, like there was one time so we took Grab, which is like the Uber.
Right. Because I think Uber, I believe, is outlawed over there.
They
I think,
discontinued Uber there, yeah.
yeah, they Grab is essentially a monopoly on the ride sharing
Yeah.
in Manila. I mean, one of the
Yeah.
things is a lot of corruption in the Philippines as well,
That's
but
true.
that's
Yeah.
beside the point. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we took Grab. There was one trip that we had that was it was 2 miles away from where we were staying at, which was in Rojas Boulevard, like right across from the cultural center of the Philippines, in that reclaimed area.
Mm.
It's 2 miles away, and it took us almost an hour to get to a destination which was 2 miles away.
So 2 miles
So
away
like,
is two.
yeah,
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
like here in
Wow.
LA, like my standard of whether your trip is a free flowing trip is that you it takes a minute to drive a mile.
Right.
Typically, if it's free flowing and it works out, there's no traffic on the road. It's probably like a 3 a.m. drive where
Mm.
it takes you a minute to drive a mile. Like 2 miles took us more than an hour,
Two
or
miles for 2 hours.
almost an hour. Yeah,
Yeah,
crazy.
it's just too many, man. I mean, just
Yeah.
there's not a lot of people who follow the rules. There's too many
Yeah.
cars on the
Oh
road,
gosh, yeah.
and then it's
Which
just
one- it's funny because I guess like I mentioned, I've been gone 18 years. So there a lot of times when I'm in the Grab and you know how like your instinct is, if your ride is too close to the car in front of you, you brake, your foot,
yeah,
like
yeah,
you
yeah.
do the imaginary brake. Oh my god, I remember doing that so many times, and then I remember one specific instance where we were on the way to Mega Mall, and our Grab, like literally to pass the car in front of him, actually literally went over a curb. It's like,
Oh wow,
Fuck,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, man. The taxi drivers are gangsters, man. You know, you should know that by now. I don't think that's
Yeah.
changed at all. The
It's not
taxi drivers have always
yeah.
been gangsters on the road,
Right.
man. That's how they drive. I
Right.
think that's how I learned to drive too, just watching them drive. But man, I did it. I drove on the Skyway. Here's the culture shock that I had. Right,
Right.
so. Just going back to the Skyway. So I think the Skyway has 3 lanes, if I'm not mistaken. If I remember correctly, there's 3 lanes that 3 or 4 lanes,
Yeah,
something
big,
like that, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing, those lanes have solid white lines.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is where this is where the culture shock comes into play, right? So I asked my dad. We were on a trip back home. We were coming from Tagaytay.
Yeah.
So we took the Skyway back home to QC, and I asked, "Hey, can I drive? Can I have a shot?" As I haven't really driven there in a while, and my our licenses can serve as temporary licenses over there.
Yeah.
So
You're right. Yeah.
we're all right. We can drive essentially. So I drove on the Skyway, and here's the thing. I don't know how it is. You can explain to me the weird speed limit rules you have in the U.S., but here in New Zealand, whatever posted speed limit there is, that's what you need to follow. So if it says 80, you can't go over 80, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So
under
I
any
think,
circumstance, you can't go over 80.
yeah, for here, here you can't. You just if a cop is on a radar and you're going 81, he has the right to catch you. Really, he has the right to give you a ticket. It's his discretion, right? Usually, what they do is they just try to catch the ones that are going so egregiously over the limit. But it's really just they can catch you. So so I was going basically on the dot on the limit. I think it was 80 kph over there or something, or 100. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But here's the funny part. I was just obviously in the slow lane, right? In the middle. I'm just on my lane really.
Right.
And my dad told me, you can cross, right? You can move lanes, right? But I said, no way, why? But they have solid white lines. I can't move. What are you talking about? It's not legal. I can't move. And they're like, no, everybody does it all the time. It's like start weaving in and out of traffic again and out. I was like, I'm not used to this anymore. I know we used to do it back in the day. I know.
Yeah.
When I was driving in the Philippines back in the day before I even left, I mean I wasn't the nicest guy on the road, right? It's not. I know I've done some stuff on the road I probably would get reprimanded for, but it's different now.
For me, one of the big culture shock things with driving there was like here I learned to drive here in the US. So one of the basic things is like if you're gonna switch lanes, there's a process that you follow that's called SMOG. SMOG. It's an acronym.
Okay. Oh, this is interesting. What's that mean? So wait. This is the US thing, right?
This is the US, yeah.
Okay.
So this is what they teach you in driving school, like driving school day one. It's an acronym called SMOG, which LA is known for smog. But yeah, S means turn signal. M, mirror, look at your rear view.
Right.
O, look over your shoulder, and then if it's clear, G, go. So
okay.
it's a process when you're signaling. Signal, mirror, look over your shoulder, then go.
Okay, is that a very? They do do that.
When people switch lanes in the Philippines, they do not use their turn signals.
I think some of them do now, but it's mostly just they turn the signal and then they go, or they're going and they turn the signal right after. It's crazy. I know. I mean, there's this running joke, right? And if you can drive in the Philippines, you can probably drive anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're just used to the worst conditions ever. And the thing is, I talking to some Indian friends that I have made over here, it's way worse where they're from.
I heard.
Right? They don't. I mean, I know that we're kind of talking shit about the Philippine drivers right now, and that's well warranted. But man, what I heard from some dudes in India is a lot more wilder over there. So I guess we can at least we kind of don't have to experience it anymore
Yeah.
as much. Oh, by the way, I checked. So, in 2023, motorists in Manila lost an estimated 117 hours annually to traffic congestion.
Annually.
So they lost 5 days annually
5 days.
traffic congestion. This
Just
is that bad.
just stuck in traffic. Yeah.
Because I remember
Yeah.
when I was still working. So
Uh.
the office that I used to work at was 12 kilometers away from the house.
Uh-huh.
So let's put miles. Let's put that in miles. So what's
Right.
12 kms 2 miles? That's 7.5 miles.
Right.
That's 7.5 miles, 12 kilometers. What would happen is I would leave the house at 6:30 in the morning just to beat the
Uh-huh.
traffic.
Yeah.
I would get there by, if I drove the way I drove before, I'd probably get there in 10-15 minutes. No,
Yeah.
no problem.
Right.
Right? The reason why I had to do that is not because I wanted to. It's because it's necessary. If
Yeah.
I left 30 minutes later, I'll be stuck in traffic for 2 hours because
Mm-hmm.
going home that 12-kilometer drive turns into 2 hours, 3 if you're unlucky.
Yeah.
This was way before. This was early 2000s. Okay, let me tell you that now.
Yeah.
Because when I did ask around, because I mean I still follow Philippine news pages. I still obviously we still have friends over there, so
Yeah.
we can ask the question every once in a while. What they told me was that's not gonna work anymore.
Yeah.
If you leave 6:30, you're probably gonna be stuck in traffic for 2 hours. You gotta
2
leave
hours, yeah.
a lot earlier than that. So I was like,
Right.
"Yo, I'm happy I'm not there anymore, bro."
Yeah. Yeah.
So you didn't get to drive at all. Is that it? You just
No,
rode.
here's the thing. I thought I could because so my dad picked us up from the airport. It was our plane landed at like midnight, and he picked us up and dad said like my dad's like what 76, 77 years old, and he's like I'm gonna drive a little slow because I have some difficulty driving at night, and I told him hey if that's the case then maybe I could I can take over like dude as soon as we pulled as soon as we pulled out from the airport like we were merging and this army of motorcycles comes in and he just merges like straight. I'm like, oh okay, I don't think I can drive. Nope.
No man, it's way crazy. It's even crazier if you take into account the millions of motorbikes, the millions of
There's a lot
smaller cars. It's crazy because you really have to watch yourself around there,
right?
Because if you turn right, even if you follow the smog system that you want. Yeah, so someone can just jack up next to you, maybe lane splitting or whatnot, and you're not gonna see that person, that motorcycle next to you.
Yeah,
It's essentially fucked.
Yeah.
So so wait, Terminal 3 is okay. That's the newest one, right? Because
This is the newest one, yeah.
right. So I remember. So for those who don't really know much about the situation, so the international I think there's only 2 international airports in Manila. Well, actually, there's one technically.
Yeah, there's
another one, but that's way too.
Clark?
That's technically not in Manila, so that doesn't count.
It's like 2 hours away. Yeah.
Right. So there's 3 terminals. Right. The first one is the oldest. Obviously, that's the shittiest one.
Yeah.
You got Terminal 2, which is obviously a bit
the domestic
new.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they use that for domestic now.
Or
And
Philippine
I think
Airlines.
Terminal 3 is more on. Yeah, Terminal 3 is just the newest one, which was falling apart before. What I remember back then was that Terminal 1 was for those international airlines.
Right.
I assume you rode on one of those. You didn't ride on the Philippine Airlines one, did you?
Oh, going home this year? Yeah. We rode Cathay Pacific.
Okay, so Cathay Pacific is kind of considered international. So before the rule change, I don't recall when the rule change happened, but before those airlines would land at Terminal 1, which is the shittiest terminal at all.
Oldest, yeah.
And I believe that Terminal 2 is reserved for Philippine Airlines or something like that. And Terminal 3 is just free fall. I don't know how they kind of split it now. So, I mean, that's good if you landed at Terminal 3. At least that's a new one.
Yeah, right.
At least there's just a lot more.
Yeah.
Because Terminal One is still crazy as hell, man. I mean, the
Yeah.
last time, because these rules weren't implemented back then, we landed at Terminal One.
Hmm.
We rode on. I forgot which one we rode on, but we ended. That's the oldest one for those who want to
Hmm.
know. That's
Hmm.
the shittiest one. The traffic is even worse
Hmm.
because that's on the other side. And then, man, what I can remember is that we usually would land at around early morning, or
Right.
it's either late
Hmm.
at night, the
Yeah.
flights. And even then, man, the traffic is already bad. And
Right.
I remember, I don't know about you, but because LA is pretty warm and humid, right? But
Yeah.
coming from here, going there to the Philippines, the biggest thing that I would say that kind of made it difficult was the weather.
Oh boy! Like
It,
as soon as you step off the plane, you feel the heat and the humidity.
that was it, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you got into this microwave oven, right?
Yeah.
Out of the airplane, you feel like it's stuck in a microwave oven,
Yeah,
and
man.
it's just hard, right? Coming from
And
a
it's
subtropical country.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about it is our trip. We had two legs, Philippines and Japan, and we had to pack for both summer and winter
Oh, that's
because
right. Yeah, it's
the
winter in Japan
Philippines
right now. Yeah,
was 90 Fahrenheit, 90 F average for that
right.
week that we were there. And then we got to Japan, the average was 53, 52 Fahrenheit. That's a 40
Yeah,
degree
that's.
drop. We packed for both summer and winter.
How many bags did you guys bring if that's the
Well,
case? If you bring like
we just brought
thick
like two
winter clothes.
suitcases. But here's the thing: to clear up some luggage space, I had to pack my I had to ship my summer clothes and basketball shoes and dress shoes, dress pants. Because I mean, the reason why we went to the Philippines was my in-laws' 40th wedding anniversary.
Right.
So after that, like I put my dress shoes, my dress pants, summer clothes, and my basketball shoes in a box and shipped it over here.
That's probably the smartest play.
Yeah,
As we did that as well. We kind
it
of
was
we got
pricey as
it.
fuck though.
Yeah, man. That was it. That was it.
Yes,
That was
yeah,
a move. Right,
yeah,
right. So I wanted to ask this. I wanted to ask this because obviously you kind of mentioned some of the differences as well.
right.
Traveling around Manila. What is the thing that you've seen as far as? Because I know you went back to school. I know you
Yeah,
went back to our school,
I did. Yeah,
and I went back to Ateneo, to Katipunan,
yeah.
that area where we essentially that's where we grew up, man.
That's where we grew up.
Right? That's where
Yeah.
we grew up. That's where we were little snot nosed kids, and
Yeah.
ended up, now we're going back. I went back as well,
Mhm.
and what was the different thing about it that you've seen after 18 years? Was the
Oh,
thing that kind of shocked you the
the
most there in that
school?
area? Just
The,
everything in that area.
everything. Okay, so we basically we went to the college, old stomping grounds, the high school complex. Yeah. So a few things that stood out to me was number one, the old high school complex, like all those buildings from the, like if you look at our high school complex, you have the cafeteria, which was the boundary that was like the east or the west end of the high school
Yeah.
until like the close to the Church of the Jesu, which is like the east end.
Yes.
That whole complex is now just the junior high wing. So you got sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade,
Okay.
and the first 2 years of high school, ninth and tenth.
Wait. What? What?
Yeah, yeah.
What? How does that work? Did they demolish buildings, add buildings? What
No,
did they do?
no. They. Here's the thing. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is there. Now they built a new building further west of the cafeteria, which is the senior high complex, and that's where 11 and 12 are. The juniors and the seniors. They're there in that new building.
Bruh.
Plus, 11 and 12 is now co-ed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest change that I
Right.
saw as well.
Yeah.
There's girls in school, man.
Yeah.
That would
Just
have been that would have been crazy.
when I it's funny because when I first found out that Ateneo was gonna go co-ed, in my mind, I was like, I should have done this when you were there, bro.
Where was this? Where the hell was this when we were young? I think they started with 11, 12, but now I believe that the primary school, elementary school was also doing that now.
I think they are also going co-ed now. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get that money, man. You got to get that money. Wait. So,
Yeah.
so that okay. So I remember that's a good description, by the way.
Yeah.
I couldn't have described it better.
Yeah.
So, because when we were there, we was just there's one wing for the freshmen, there's one wing for the sophomores,
Yeah.
so on and so forth. That was it, right? So
Right.
you essentially just stay in your lane, and everyone would just congregate in the cafeteria every once in
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah.
So that area, there's a senior high school now that's in another wing of it.
That's a totally new building, a totally new complex.
Dang, how does
Yeah.
that work?
It's crazy. Yeah. So and it's funny because I did meet some of our former teachers there.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of it was great catching up with them. And yeah, it was like I was just in awe at like all the changes in the school. In the like not just that, but the culture as well. And then also it's great that it's so much easier to get around the whole campus now because they have what they call an e-jeep, which is like an electric vehicle. It's like kind of like a big golf cart,
Okay.
which can seat like what 10 people. So there's an e-jeep that took us from the college campus to the high school campus, and it also took us from the high school campus back to the college campus. So it's easier, back then, during our time, we had if you wanted to visit the high school, you had to take like a tricycle if you didn't want
Yeah,
to
you
walk.
take a tricycle over somewhere and
And
walk. Yeah, yeah.
spend
That
some
was
money, but this was free.
This was free. Oh
Yeah.
shit! Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's free. Yeah.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
not. Wait,
There's
but
no
what is?
tricycles, but I don't see like. I remember back then, like right by the covered courts, there would be a tricycle terminal.
Yeah, those are.
Right by another building, there'd be a tricycle terminal. That's gone now. It's like
Oh.
I know there's tricycles coming into campus, but if I'm thinking that they're coming from outside.
Right. So there's no one. There's no more tricycles inside. Is that what you're saying?
There are still tricycles, but they're coming from outside.
Yeah, but there's no longer a place where they just hang out inside. There's no more
I
terminals.
didn't
is
see
there?
anything. Yeah, I didn't see anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I mean, that's kind of like the allure of the thing, right? Where it's
Right.
it's a huge open area where you can
Yeah.
just walk around and stuff,
Yeah.
and that's kind of
Uh-huh.
the thing that so when I was choosing colleges, right? I mean, I'm lucky enough to get into the stuff I really wanted to. I had, so my first choice was always gonna be Ateneo.
Yeah.
That's always because
Yeah.
that's where we grew up, right?
Right.
I was able to pass LaSalle. I was able to pass UANP. This was in Ortigas.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've ever told this to my parents, but I intentionally tanked going to UP because I took the exam and then sorry man, but I was just walking around the campus and I know it's fun to go there, it's fun to eat and all that, but I didn't really see myself studying there. But my parents really wanted me to try out, so like, fine, whatever. Man.
Yeah.
But I just didn't care. I just didn't prepare for it. I just essentially I don't want to pass. I don't want that pressure because I know if I pass the exam, right? I know if I pass the exam, that's probably where they're gonna push me to go because it's just.
Yeah, I think I did the same thing. 'Cause I mean, okay, no offense to our friends from UP, like it's a great school.
No, they're cool, but fuck their basketball team. All right, fuck. I'm saying this. Fuck the basketball team. Yeah. They're the LA Clippers of the UAAP. I'll give you that. All right.
Okay, so I remember
go ahead.
the program that I intended on taking in UP was because some of their programs in UP they can only take a certain number of students.
Yep. It's hard to get inside.
It's a quota program, yeah. So the program that I wanted, I think, was philosophy. It was a quota program. So I knew that the competition was going to be, So it's not like that. I intentionally tanked the OPCAT, which is the entrance test, but I knew I wasn't gonna get accepted. And yeah, I didn't get an acceptance from UP.
I mean, fair enough. I mean, I don't know if I would have passed it or not, even if I tried.
Right.
But I just didn't try. That's the thing. I just I didn't want the pressure of telling my parents, no, I don't want to go to UP. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I really always wanted to go to Ateneo because the difference is,
yeah.
I mean, UP, in terms of campus life, right? Ateneo and UP are probably the closest amongst those four schools, right? So
like
if you go to LaSalle, LaSalle is just, I mean, it's in the middle of the city. It's just too many. It's just too crowded and all that. There's, I didn't really enjoy it when I visited. I mean, yeah, it's right. It's nice, but and the one in UANP was the one in Ortigas, which was all right because it's near the mall. It's near a lot of shops, lifestyle stuff, and it would have been all right for me as well. That was probably my second choice if I didn't pass Ateneo. So. But yeah, I mean, Ateneo has always been the first choice, just because of the fact that number one, we grew up there.
We grew up there.
That's where all of the good and bad stuff was formed.
Yeah.
But and also the fact that it's just a wide open space.
Right.
You can just walk around. You can just chill, and I mean, I made the most out of that in college. So that was the mindset. So just hearing all of these stories, and I know that there's also this new building in the college now with. I think it's the one that MVP put up. Manny Pangilinan put up. So So that MVP was because when I went there, it was my brother-in-law who took us there, and he showed us apparently they have this area where people can just sell food.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it's called, but I think that was fucking awesome. I mean, that was a great idea.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, we only had so we had the cafeteria inside.
Yep.
So we had Manang's, the best place to eat, right? And that's near. Yeah. That's the best liempo that you're gonna eat in your life. I think it's closed now. Is it? I heard it's closed.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
that's the best. Yeah, like right after basketball.
Yeah, after you play, right?
Best place to eat right after you play basketball.
And and for those who've never experienced it, that place was packed, bro. You just had to, because there were limited amount of seats, and the lines were really, really long, especially during lunchtime. So we try to get there early. So that's one, and there's also the cafeteria in the middle of the whole place. But the food there isn't really that good, to be honest. I preferred eating. I preferred going to the high school actually and eating in the cafeteria.
Oh yeah.
That's what I used to do when I get there early. But
the
that was it.
Was so different too. So we did go to the college cafeteria, and it's so different. Like like what we had back then. It's like it's what they have right now is just so much different. I remember my wife and I were at the cafeteria. We got. So there's like this one stand that sells coffee, and we got like what I got like an ube latte or something like that. So it's like there's this stuff that we didn't have back then,
There's so many things. There's so many things. I mean, I don't need. I actually wanted to go to. So when I was there, we didn't have a lot of time, so we just spent an hour or something there,
right?
Just because it was too hot, and we had someplace else to go. I didn't really meet any of the teachers. Although I was wondering, I wonder if the hot teachers were still there. I don't know what happened to them. Let's not say their names, by the way. Let's not put them on. But just kidding. So I wanted to go to the grade school really because I remember the grade school cafeteria. Yeah. Was you remember the meal cards that we used to have?
Yeah.
We used to have, so just to explain the system, right? So I think it's a card that you have. You bring it wherever you go. If you want to eat in the cafeteria, you bring it to the cafeteria to eat, and then you can just get the food. Right? You're not paying any money. It's happens
prepaid.
is
it's prepaid. Like our folks prepaid.
Yeah. No, they do send the bill after, I think.
Or they just send the bill after. Yeah.
They just send the bill at home, and you gotta pay whenever you pay. So there's three kinds of food. There you got the normal cafeteria food. You got the sizzling stuff,
the sizzling platters,
and I think you got some high end stuff as well, whatever. But what I remember most was, apart from that meal card, it's kind of like a ticket and all that. But there was a pot of rice in every table that was essentially free.
Right.
And then you can just get as much rice as you want.
Yeah.
Obviously, for Filipinos,
Oh hell yeah.
that's the holy grail right there.
Yep.
'Cause I just really wanted to go and see
Uh,
what was that, but didn't have the time.
yeah. But I mean, speaking of the food, like, oh my goodness, that's one takeaway from my Manila trip.
That was the next question. I was gonna ask that. Okay, so
There's so much new stuff like with regards to food. Like just in the Mall of Asia area, like there's so many options.
how about you give us your top five? What are the top five things that you ate in the Philippines, right? That you can't have in the States.
Okay. Yeah. So okay, at Mall of Asia, like our last lunch, the day before we flew to Japan, we ate at this place called Manam.
I heard about that.
It's like a
Yeah.
Filipino restaurant. Hands down, the best sisig I've ever had. Like,
Yes,
oh my god,
I can say that. Yes,
oh my gosh!
I heard about
large
yes.
platter that serves two was like 500 500 pesos. It's like
So
$9,
that's $9. Okay,
and it's good for two. So like, and
man,
yeah,
I'm not sharing that shit, bro. I mean, the whole thing.
that
If I
food is
was to
really
buy the whole
affordable.
thing.
The food is really affordable and so good. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you got the Manams. Okay, what
Yeah,
else did you?
manam.
What was
What else did
memorable
we
for you
have?
over there?
Let's see. We had so like last night we were there. My dad and so my wife and I and my dad we ate at an inasal place. I think it's owned by Joel Torre.
Oh yes, yes. JL, I think JL Inasal or
JT.
something.
JT.
JT, yeah.
So good, man.
That's
Oh, yeah.
so I heard about that restaurant through through a YouTube web series that
Right.
there were someone I think Lord Devere was doing.
Oh, yeah.
He was there.
Uh-huh.
He shot some stuff in there. So that's really good. I heard that
Yeah.
that place is good. Also it's so good. It's
Right.
been exported to Singapore. He has
Yeah.
a Singapore branch now.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I mean, when I heard about that, yeah, okay,
Mhm.
that must be good. I
That's
never had a
really
chance to
cool.
try that, by the way.
Uh-huh. Yeah, JT was really good. Yeah, and then my cousin, I was with my cousin and his girlfriend. We went to Eastwood. We
Wait,
ate
that
this-
place is still alive?
Yeah. Oh, bro, it's
What?
huge.
All right.
it's
So,
it's kind of like a smaller scale BGC,
okay.
but it's like huge. And we ate at this Filipino restaurant it's called Casa Reyes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool. It's because it's like once you step into the place, it's like you're transported back into like like the Spanish period where it's like all the decor is like from like those typical Spanish houses, and then they would serve the rice in like a small like pot, and in the Philippines call it the caldero.
Oh, okay. The metal pot. It's a metal
Yeah,
pot. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a miniature, metal pot. Yeah, so food is super good too. So yeah, that was like those little because like here in LA, like if you have like Filipino food, it's like it's pretty much unless you go to like Jerry's Grill, which is probably like 20 miles away, you're not gonna have that down home, like that down home vibe that you have like when you're at a Filipino restaurant back home. So
Right. So this is more of the for the ambiance, right? So
Right.
it doesn't feel like it's a commercial place at all.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So like those little things, those little things of what I missed and I got to experience when we came back home. So yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, you're kind of look. So you're in the U.S., right? So there's tons of Filipinos over there. So
There is. Yeah.
I think that if you miss the food, it's easy to just get. Because for me, it's a lot different, man. It's way different down here. So
yeah.
okay, so I can tell you, and this is just me saying it because I can get legit Filipino food everywhere. There's a lot of small pop-ups now, the food trucks that are going
Right.
on that you can get, right? So I miss Jerry's Grill. Number one,
Yep.
I miss Jerry's Grill. You mentioned it, right?
Yep.
I love their squid.
Yeah.
My wife and I ate there. I miss the sisig. I miss
Yep.
the unlimited iced tea that they had over there.
Oh yeah, that's
So
right.
that was it. That Jerry's Grill. It's always
Mm.
I know it's always in the U.S. but you don't have that here.
Yeah.
Another one that I miss is and this is more for nostalgia because this is a place where you'd go drinking all night, and
Right.
then before you go home, you'd go to this specific spot,
Yeah.
Mr. Kebab.
Oh gosh, we didn't
Mr.
get
Kebab,
to have
so-
Mr. Kebab. I know. Yeah.
All right, so there's a lot of Mediterranean food here. There's Lebanese food. There's a lot
Right, right,
there's
same.
a lot of kebab places over here, right?
Yeah.
But nothing captures that feel of
Man.
Mr. Kebab down
Yeah.
in. I think that's where the one in Quezon Avenue.
Right. Yeah.
The one there, that's the classic. That's the first one I went to. That's the one I
Right.
miss. Where you just order the keema kebab or
Yeah.
whatever the shawarma that you get there.
Right.
It's just I miss it so goddamn much, man. I had to go.
Right.
That was one of the places that I had to go.
Right.
All right. The next one is so this is more of a local. If you're not from that area, you probably don't know it. So, but I'll just keep it generalized. So have
Right.
you tried what beef patis is?
Yes.
Okay, so there's this place along.
Yes.
I think it's near. God. It's near my dad's place. Really, I forgot the street. Visayas Avenue. It's near Visayas Avenue.
Besides Avenue. Yeah.
So it's near Visayas Avenue, and it's a place called Kokoy's.
Mm.
So it's a roadside joint, man. I don't want to say it's a hole in the wall, but it's a roadside joint.
Roadside joint.
It's legit near not a good part of town
Yeah.
kind of joint.
Right.
But the food is fucking amazing. My friends and I would always go there. That's essentially every
Yep.
time we didn't get a chance to eat there when we were there. That's the thing that I really missed the most. The greasy beef
Yeah.
patties that they had,
Uh-huh.
and they sprinkle a lot of garlic on it. I know it's
Right.
the taste. I've never gotten that taste again that I
Uh-huh.
miss. But I really miss it.
Yeah.
We're planning to go back. We're planning to visit the Philippines again, and that's
Right.
definitely one. for
Yeah.
us. But and this is the thing, the top of my list that I really miss the most about Philippine food, really. And I know this is gonna sound corny. This is gonna sound weird to you because you have this place there.
Right.
I fucking miss Jollibee.
Oh,
We don't have Jollibee over here.
hands
Okay,
down, man.
Jollibee.
Yeah.
I would fight anyone, and
Uh-huh.
I would fight for this. Jollibee's the best fried chicken in the world. Okay,
Oh,
in the
hands
world.
down. Yeah.
the world,
Hands
okay?
down. Hands down.
Jollibee is the best fried chicken that I've
Yeah.
ever tasted in
Hands
the
down.
world.
I think the closest thing, and I know my wife is gonna disagree with me on this because she loves her favorite is Popeyes, but I'm a Chicken Joy person, like hands down. You know,
Popeyes is number 2 on my list. Okay,
Yeah.
so we have
number
Popeyes
two on
here.
the list too. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Popeyes just opened
Yeah,
up
for my
here.
wife's
Popeyes
number
opened.
2 Jollibee. Yeah, it's just it's just
We-
inverse.
We actually just had Popeyes
Yeah.
yesterday. Okay, so it just opened up recently here. So I'm really happy that Popeyes is here. But that's
Uh-huh.
number 2. I mean, nothing will be Jollibee for me. Okay,
Yeah.
I
Right.
really wish, Jollibee would come here because I'll be there probably every week. Just so I'd love the food. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that I just. But the thing is, I don't know if you ate in any fast food restaurants in the Philippines when you were there.
Did
you?
we? No, Army Navy, just Army Navy. Yeah.
All right, so that's
Yeah.
that's a burrito
That's
shop,
kind of
right?
blue.
That's kind of like
Yeah.
an American, yeah. So
Yeah.
here's the thing that disappointed me about the most, right? So, we introduced our daughter to Jollibee. So we were in Hong Kong, and there's a
Right.
Jollibee over there.
Yeah.
And then we had our daughter taste it because again we've never had it back. So until that point in time, we've never had Jollibee. So that was going on for probably 10 years. We haven't
Right.
tried Jollibee in 10 years.
Yeah.
So we went to Hong Kong and we tried it, and then my daughter absolutely loved it. It's on the top of her list too,
Right.
which proves that she's Filipino, really.
Yeah.
So, so she loves Jollibee so much now, and we took her there, and she enjoyed it.
Uh-huh.
But obviously when we went to the Philippines, we have to hit up Jollibee. We have to hit Jollibee. We have to go.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, man. It really disappointed me. And I don't know if this is the same with all the Jollibee branches in the Philippines, but this specific one was in SM North EDSA.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Bro, the chicken, you'd expect a certain size of chicken when you go to Jollibee, right?
Oh, it's smaller, huh?
Bro, it looks like the chickens were malnourished. It looks like they were in fat camp, whatever. But those chickens were so small. They look like chicken wings, right? You know the rounds, in, the wing, the rounds in the chicken wings.
Mm-hmm.
They were that size. Like the drumsticks were that size.
What?
It was just so disappointing.
That's terrible.
I was just, come on, man. Why are you giving me this? I haven't had this in years, and you're giving me the small ass chicken. I mean, look, I get it. They probably want to keep the price the same, or at least not raise it too much. But if there's any shrinkflation example that I can think of, Jollibee Philippines is gonna be the one.
Inflation, yeah. Oh, that's terrible. That's disappointing.
Yeah, because when we ate in the U.S. as well, we ate the Jollibee in the U.S. It's the same thing, and it's the same thing that I miss.
Right.
But I was just disappointed in the Philippine Jollibee. I hope it changed now.
Right.
Because I don't want people to not eat a Jollibee.
Yeah.
In the Philippines, there's a reason why McDonald's isn't number one in the Philippines.
Yeah.
There's a very good reason.
Very
for
good
that,
reason.
And,
yep.
You know.
Yep.
And that's because it's Jollibee.
Yeah.
So. What else? I mean, I know you can get a lot of food in the U.S., but is there anything that you kind of miss from the Philippines now that you've been back?
Like
that you can't get in the U.S. I don't know. That might be a tough ask.
Okay, so like here, we have Filipino groceries, we have Seafood City, we have Island Pacific. And it's
I still find that to be so funny every time I go to one. It's kind of like you're being transported to an SM or something every time you go into a Seafood City. It's just amazing to me.
But here's the thing, though, like I went there, I went to a supermarket in the Philippines, the SM Hypermarket in Mall of Asia, to get goodies to bring home to like my staff,
Nice.
my youth ministry core team, I have a lot of Filipino students who are volunteering for my ministry here. So some of them are Filipino, and I was asking them, hey, what do you guys want from the Philippines? They're like dried mangoes. One of them was like Cremo cookies. So I'm like, okay.
Wait! You don't have Cremo cookies over there? You serious?
Nope.
No way.
Yeah, which brings me to my point that when I went to the supermarket in the Philippines, I realized that what we have at Seafood City in Island Pacific isn't even half of what they have in the Philippines.
Really?
Yeah. Like the one thing that I really love, and whenever like someone comes home from the Philippines, like my mom or a relative, like I always ask them, can you bring me yema, which is like those it's like a delicacy.
It's yams, right?
It's a delicacy like made of like condensed milk, sugar, eggs, and stuff. They don't have that here, so I bought like 2 containers of yema. So, and of course, the dried mangoes. You only like find that in specialty stores here. So like I was in shock. Like what they have in the grocery there, what is like so much more. Like what we have here is like it's not even half of what what they have there.
Wow, I didn't even realize that. So we went to Seafood City in there, and it's like, oh, this is so huge. It reminds me of the movie.
They don't. I rarely see that here.
Because we do have yams here, we do have Cremo here. So because I was just so stoked because I miss Clover chips. I love Clover chips, and I love the chili cheese Clover chips in general.
Oh yeah, we have Clover chips here, also. So, but some of those other stuff. Wow.
Wow. Okay, because when we found a Filipino grocery here, and we can get, cherry fur. We can get
Oh,
vitamins for kids.
yeah, yeah.
we, can,
Uh,
we can get Green Cross alcohol.
Green Cross alcohol.
It's just
Oh, one thing I got there that we don't have here, because because of the temperature change. I had the sniffles. My wife had nasal congestion.
I think I
I
know what
got
you
the
say.
Vicks inhaler.
Whoa!
We
Wait!
don't
You
have
don't
that
have that
here.
there?
No.
No, wait! That's sticky. Just stick in your nose, and you don't have
Yeah.
that.
We don't have it there. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? Why?
I don't know. Like, it's like I saw it there. I'm like, I kind of need this now.
Wait! Why? Wait! You don't any kind of brand. You don't have the Vicks inhaler
I don't
thing.
see. I don't see it here. Yeah.
Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah.
That
We
is
have
so
the
weird,
vapor
man.
rub.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Yeah.
You just put it in your
And
chest, right?
another thing, yeah, because I knew I was gonna play basketball, so um, one thing that I got at the Watsons at UP Town Center was
Watsons.
we have salon pass here, right?
Yeah,
So yeah,
the
salon,
patches, right?
yeah,
The menthol patches. Yeah.
I knew my back was gonna was gonna be sore after playing. So we have salon pass here. That's normal. But
Okay.
one thing I got in the Philippines that they don't have here is Tiger Balm.
Whoa! What?
Tiger Balm had those patches. And,
Yeah.
Oh man, it's like, and you know how strong Tiger Balm is.
Yeah, it's just
And we
amazing.
had, and yeah, it worked pretty good for my back, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Because it took us a while to find this one. So
Right.
one of the things that we missed was that Chinese oil, the Kwanlong, the one
Kwanlong,
that's
yeah,
strong
or white flour, yeah, yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah.
It took us a while to find it, but we
Yeah.
didn't have it for a while.
uh-huh,
But when we found it, it was just
yeah,
that's oh damn, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I honestly still can't believe that you don't have the
the Vicks
inhalers
inhaler.
there.
I
That
know.
is. I mean, I always thought that
Crazy.
America has everything, man.
Yeah. Apparently
So apparently not, dude.
I know.
That's pretty
Yeah.
wild. That's pretty wild. That's.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, wait. So, so Mang Tomas and banana ketchup are still banned over there.
Here's the thing, bro.
Yeah.
So
Is it still
they-
banned?
Banana ketchup, they started selling again. But
Okay.
but get this. If you're in a Filipino grocery here, you have the Jufran banana ketchup, it's limit 2 per customer, bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's ration. Wait. Why is it banned in the fridge? Do you know why it's banned?
Because apparently there's an additive in the lechon sauce or in the banana ketchup that has been outlawed, or it has been deemed illegal here. So
Okay.
that's why. So apparently they kind of loosened up on banana ketchup, but Mang Tomas is still not.
It's still banned.
It's still banned.
Oh, damn.
So
I feel
here's
bad
the
for you.
thing.
I feel bad.
I
I
got-
feel bad.
So I was only able to get one, but I got a bottle of the Mang Tomas, the spicy one, and I wrapped it in like a shirt and put it in my.
How did it go through customs?
It went
Did you
through.
manage to get it?
Yeah,
Did you manage to get it in? Yeah. So
Yep.
so you're telling me that you cannot buy Mang Tomas Sarsa in the U.S. anymore? It's completely out of stock everywhere.
Sadly, no, man. Yeah.
Oh, that's so sad. You
That's
put
sad.
that
And
on
then-
everything.
and then I remember seeing it on Amazon and eBay. They were selling like the regular bottle for like $30.
So they-
we still have because we still have we still have a few unopened bottles of banana ketchup and Mang Tomas in our pantry. So I was telling my wife, and I was joking to her like, "This is gold now."
Yeah, man. You can probably resell that.
Yeah.
Right? Put it up on StockX or eBay or something like
Right.
that, and someone will buy it for $50.
Yeah, man.
That is insane. I hope that gets
Yeah.
solved soon, because
Yeah.
Filipinos need Mang Tomas,
We
man.
need
That's
Mang
that's
Tomas.
that's something that
There's
you
been,
need in
like-
your kitchen.
Yeah, and recipes have been popping up like on I don't know if it's TikTok or Instagram. Like there've been recipes how to make the sauce from scratch.
Is that even gonna taste good? I mean, would you even want to try that?
Oh yeah.
No, man. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just because every time you eat pork, every time you eat something that's meat based,
Yeah.
right? It's just the best. If you don't need to season the meat even, you just dip it in Mang Tomas.
Like with with crispy pata, you know how they have like, you know how usually when they serve crispy pata, they have like the soy sauce and vinegar and uh that dipping sauce, right? I don't even use that. I use Mang Tomas.
That's I don't know. No. I gotta put it on that soy sauce vinegar mix, man. I can't. I mean, I know I know where you're coming from. I tried.
Good. It's good. Yeah.
I tried. So I'd cook some air fryer pork belly, and I would try it with Mang Tomas, and it's alright. But dipping it in soy sauce is just hits different, man.
It hits different. I know. Yeah, I totally understand.
So basically, we've been talking about food for 1 hour. Do you want to talk about the Lakers real quick?
Oh yeah, how about them Lakers? Okay. All right.
So let's
prediction.
Let's visit our prediction. So what was our prediction was 7-3, right? Was it 7-3?
8-2 for me.
8-2. Okay, so
8-2. Yeah.
So they ended up winning. So from that stretch of games, that's the Clippers to Milwaukee, which is a day ago, I think.
Yeah.
So they ended up winning 3 straight, right? They beat the Clippers. That was a good win. They dominated
the Clippers,
and the great win against the Knicks at home.
Right.
And then shit started to happen.
Yeah.
That sucked. That hurt me. The Boston game.
LeBron got hurt. Ruby got hurt. Austin Reeves got hurt.
Yep. And they ended up losing 4 straight. Boston, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Denver. Okay, so Brooklyn, they could have won that. That was some horrible reffing shit. I don't know if
officiating in that game.
That was horrible. Yeah, I think Luka got hit every time down the floor. They wouldn't. He
was getting hit. And they weren't calling any fouls.
I think that was if there was a rigged game, that would probably be Exhibit A right there. That was just bad. Horrible.
Yeah.
And then, but the thing is, look, so the Denver game they almost won. So that was without everyone, and I believe that it was Shake Milton and Dalton and
Shake
Austin.
Milton, Dalton Connect. Yeah.
Dalton and AR had 30 points at least. I think that was it. It's kind of looking like the Lakers really dodged the bullet with the rescinded Mark Williams trade.
You're right. Yeah.
Because Dalton's been amazing ever since. I think starting for March they posted some numbers and he's been really, really amazing.
Dalton's been it's like a resurgence for him, and not just that, Jackson Hayes.
My God, man, Jackson Hayes looks like he kind of looks like what you call Nick Claxton to me now.
Right.
When he was playing against Luka, he's looked like a starter, a legit starter. I know that he's a lottery pick.
Yeah, I saw this one graphic where like with AD, before the AD trade, they were like 24-18 with AD in the lineup.
Yep.
With Jackson Hayes, they're like 19-3. Was that how many? Like 11-3 or something? Yeah, but
because I don't know if you what I noticed with those games when so obviously LeBron was out in Boston, starting Boston, right, and then it was essentially Luka in and out of the lineup. What I noticed, right, with how teams defended the Lakers was that they would try to blitz or trap Luka on one side of the floor, which leaves a 4-on-3 on the rest, right? So they'd either pass it into the middle or they'd pass it to Austin on the wing and he'd try to create. And that's where the offense was kind of flowing for them.
Right.
So, but they had some very good successes there. It's not like, again, with Denver, they almost won that. Milwaukee, that was close, but they pulled through. Luka had 45 points and 7 threes. We'll talk about him in a bit. But this offense I've never seen this much space in this Lakers offense.
Yeah.
I think ever. I don't think I've seen this ever for them.
Yeah. It's crazy also, like, mentioning Jackson Hayes. Like, the reason why he wanted the Mark Williams trade was because Luka wanted that lob threat. Well, guess what? The impact of Luka Doncic on the Lakers is Jackson Hayes is starting to become that lob threat.
He's I think in that stretch he's been averaging double digits or something crazy. And I think there was a graphic as well where they said that there was this play that they used to get lobs for Jackson Hayes every now. They would run it every game,
right?
And it was successful.
Yeah,
and he looks like, I think this is a contract year for him. Obviously, this is the
Right.
last year of
Mhm.
his deal, and I don't mind getting him back. But
Oh,
I don't think
yeah.
I don't think he's a starting caliber center though. I think that's probably one of the
Yeah.
things that they
Yeah.
want to address in the off season,
Yeah.
whoever they try to get. I haven't even thought about that yet, but maybe even they can try to get Mark Williams, man, from the. I don't
Yeah.
even know if they can sign Mark Williams. Is he even willing to come?
If you,
But
yeah, exactly, yeah.
because he's gonna start it. Mark Williams is gonna start in this team 100% if he
Oh, yeah.
decides to come.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I want to keep Jackson as well if that's the
Yeah.
case, and hopefully that pushes through. So, okay, after they lost that Denver game, they rattled on 3 straight at home.
Right.
So Phoenix,
Phoenix Spurs. Yeah.
Phoenix Spurs, and then that Denver without Murray,
Without
Murray and Jokic.
Mhm.
Said, they lost this last one against Milwaukee.
They
Everyone
got
was
blown
out.
Yeah, because everyone was out.
Everyone was
starting their
out,
second
and
unit. Yeah. Jordan Goodwin.
Brownie,
Yeah.
Brownie ended up with 17
Brownie's
points.
cooking,
I want to talk.
17
about that later. But
Yep.
so our prediction essentially 7-3 and 8-2. It became what's that? It became
5-5.
So it became 1, 2, 3. Yeah, man. It is 3 wins, 6 wins, 6-4. Really,
6-4.
That's not too bad.
Not bad.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
Consider the fact that they don't have
injuries, yeah.
LeBron.
Yeah.
6-4 is not too bad. I think I get it. They're now in third in the West, right? Denver's been on a losing streak. Memphis has been on a losing streak.
Right.
So they're third behind Houston right now. Houston has 25 losses.
OKC. Yeah.
Yeah, so OKC, that's probably a lock for first.
Right.
And then Houston has 25 losses. Lakers have 26.
Uh-huh.
So they're definitely in striking distance
They are,
with that second, third spot.
Yeah.
So is it early to kind of predict where they're going with this? Because I believe that they only have, I think, 13 games left or something like that.
Uh-huh.
So where do we think the Lakers are going to end up with the standings?
So we get so they're 43 and 26. By the way, the game is going on right now against the Chicago Bulls. We have LeBron back in the starting lineup. Rui, I don't know if he's playing, but
He was probable. So he should be playing. Yeah. So if Rui's available, Rui should be available today, and I wouldn't be surprised if he started. So Lakers are leading by 3 right now, and actually Rui didn't start. So it was Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron, Jackson,
Yeah.
Luka, and Austin.
it was
Speaking of the devil, Jackson Hayes has 6 points.
yeah. I know
He's the leading scorer.
He's leading them in scoring right now. Okay, 43 and 26. That's a total of 69 games, so 13 games left.
Nice. So they got 13 games left, and I don't think so. This stretch that they had, this was 6 games in 8 days, right? So
they need to go at least 7-6 to make it a 50 win season.
So let's kind of break it down. So they face Memphis once.
Schedule.
They face Houston twice,
Ooh,
and they have OKC twice as well in that span, both away games. But no more back to backs.
no more back to backs. Okay.
So they're
Yeah.
they're pretty much done with the Denver series. They
Right.
I think that one's
Denver's
tied.
Houston, we got Portland, we got Golden State, which is
They're still fighting for a spot, so
They're
I
still fighting for a
expect
spot,
all guns. I expect them to go out guns blazing in that one.
Yeah.
Especially they haven't faced
Orlando,
Jimmy Butler yet, so yeah.
right. Orlando, Indiana.
So Indiana they have Chicago now, which is happening now, and they go on a 4-game road trip starting on Monday, with a back-to-back at Indiana and Chicago are back-to-back,
Yep.
and then they have another they have a couple more back-to-backs really. So they have April 3rd Golden State, and then the next day they face New Orleans, but these are both home games. And then you have a last back-to-back where you go from Oklahoma City
To
and then Dallas. Dallas AD's playing. That might be the AD game.
Yep, that might be the AD game. Yeah.
So they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 games on the road to go.
8 games on the
3
road.
back-to-backs.
3 back-to-backs.
So that's gonna be I think it's gonna be a close fight. What do you say? I think is
I would say
second or third is probably feasible at this point.
8-5, 8-5 last 13 games.
We can do that.
Eight
If
and
that's the
five, yeah.
case. So right now, in terms of the standings, obviously they are in third spot. They have 26 losses.
Mm-hmm.
Denver's got 27. It's pretty tight, right? It's the
Yeah.
West from a play-in spot. Here's the thing.
Right.
So numbers Clippers are seventh right now.
Yeah.
They're 40 and 30.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Golden State is sixth with 41 and 30. So
And
they're just a
yep.
half game ahead
Uh-huh.
of the Clips. So Lakers are 26 right now. So they definitely gotta win a lot if they
Yeah.
want to keep, if they want to be out of the play-in. But
Yeah.
they're not out of the woods. The play-in is definitely a possibility if something goes wrong.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So if they're how many games? They're 2 games behind Houston. They go 8-5. They
So
possibly
definitely the games against Houston, the
Yeah.
two games against Houston, and the one against the Grizzlies,
Must-
those are essentially must wins.
those are must wins. Yeah.
Yep.
I would consider even the Warriors game to be a must win.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's
So-
do that. So
yeah. So-
for Denver has a very easy schedule. So
Yeah.
the rest of their games, they only have 4 road games
Right.
and one back-to-back game.
Mhm.
And mostly who they're facing isn't really too bad. So they're playing Houston tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
They're playing Golden State as well, which is a
Mhm.
good game.
Yep.
They're playing Memphis and Houston once.
Once. Uh-huh.
Right. So there's definitely going to be a lot of movement within these last weeks of the
Oh, yeah.
season. Can we say that they're probably going to end up as low as the 4th seed? Can we do that? I think that's probably.
Worst case scenario, probably.
I think with the fact that I'm assuming that LeBron is
yeah.
healthy.
Yep.
They're
That could
actually
happen,
down there.
Mm-hmm.
So Lakers are down by 1 now. First quarter. I think as long as Braun and Luka are healthy, I think they should be able to get at least the 4th seed,
At
right?
least 4th seed,
And
yeah.
but it's too fluid right now. I don't think this ever been this close as far
Right.
as the end of the season is concerned.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be. But Memphis has a tough schedule. They play OKC. Obviously, they play the Lakers. They play Boston,
Right.
Detroit,
Yeah.
Minnesota, Denver. Those are hunting for playoff spots. Even
Yep.
Dallas, if AD comes back, they're gonna be fighting for a playoff spot. So,
Right.
man, this is gonna be a crazy end for 2
crazy.
weeks.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
So the regular season ends on the 14th of April, and yeah, man, let's
Yep.
see where they end up. Now, we wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about something. So I was watching Bill Simmons's podcast a couple of days before. So he got,
yeah.
he got, and this is very again. I want to say that I am thankful that LeBron is a Laker. I am happy to have him on the team. I'm thankful that he brought the ring, right?
Right.
What Bill Simmons essentially said is that the Lakers haven't had this kind of feeling for a fan since Kobe. And I gotta say, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the? I'll let you answer this. So, what was the things that you enjoyed most when Kobe was playing and at his prime?
I think for me, the one thing that that I really like, especially we're talking about prime, mature Kobe.
Yeah, talking about 24, really.
Had this, who changed his approach. Second coming of Phil Jackson, 05, 06, leading to the 2 championships. My favorite thing about Kobe during that time was just the mindset. The mindset he brought to the, and the mindset that, hey, those little things that he would say, like, practices should be tougher than games, because if your practices aren't tougher than games, they're doing the wrong thing, because, and that's just that mentality, where he's gonna push you to become a better version of a better player than what you currently are. He's gonna, like, him and MJ, yeah, you know, there there are moments where they're gonna act like jerks. They're gonna act like um they gonna act like bad teammates. But it's just the mindset that he brought. Like, especially with Pau, like
Yeah.
Pau was just a totally different player. When Kobe was his teammate, and then you had they had that mindset rub off on everyone. So I think that's my favorite. That's my favorite thing about Kobe when he was a Laker. Just that bringing that mindset that, hey, this is the path. This is how we're gonna stay focused. This is how we're gonna achieve our goal, which is to win a championship. And his mindset was, okay, let's not stray away from that, from that focus. Let's stay oriented. Let's kind of be in that direction of winning, so we can achieve our goal.
What's yeah, definitely. I think that's one of the things, right? And for me, really, it's mostly just and this is probably just a very shallow way of looking at it, but the whenever I saw Kobe on the floor, right? Whenever I saw him scoring or whatever, even if the Lakers were down, I kind of had the feeling that they can come back from this. They can.
Yeah,
There's a path to winning as long as Kobe is on the floor.
on the floor.
And
Yeah.
here's as great as LeBron is, as great as his accomplishments are. It's definitely a goat, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, this is not to discount what he's done. I mean, LeBron James is the greatest player of his generation, and again, we've mentioned this a lot before. If you ask the answer to the question, who is the GOAT, that can either be Michael Jordan or LeBron
Or
James.
LeBron James.
That
Yep.
both questions are correct, right? But the thing that I've noticed and I've felt while watching this era of Lakers basketball with LeBron, just with LeBron and AD, is that I don't have that same feeling where they can come back from this. I don't have that.
It's
Uh,
it's
Yeah,
it's an intangible. It's an X factor. It's an X factor. I guess trait that that you could attribute to Kobe, because I mean the numbers are tangible. Numbers are physical.
Yep.
You can see the numbers. But like you can't measure stuff like clutch. You can't measure. You can't measure mindset. You can't measure, mentality.
and I mean,
It's
look,
just
even
yeah.
they tried to kind of do the clutch bit a little bit. I think LeBron is one of the best fourth quarter scorers
Oh yeah.
in the league. There was some, and I mean that's true. That's sure.
Yeah.
He's putting up numbers and whatnot, but the feeling of if you're watching a Laker game, right, and they're down by a certain amount, I didn't have that feeling of they can come back from this. I didn't have that feeling of there's a way for them to still win
Yeah.
this game.
Yeah.
Even when LeBron was there, even if he's scoring most of his points in the fourth quarter,
Right.
it doesn't have that same feeling. But with Luka, this is where I really agree with Bill Simmons here, and I know it's weird, but every time you see Luka, you know someone's gonna be scoring. Someone's
Yeah.
gonna be trying to score the ball or at least get some points on the board, regardless of how that's being done.
Yep.
Luka brings that same kind of feeling for me
Approach. Yeah.
when whether it's the intangibles or his approach to the game or whatever, but just having Luka there on the floor is more of a steadying presence than anything else.
Yeah.
And that's why these games feel different. And LeBron has been out for a week or two,
Yeah.
but you felt that as long as Luka's there, they have a chance of winning.
Yeah. Exactly.
And they did really. When if just a couple of balls went their way or some calls, they could have won.
Yep.
So that's kind of the thing that made me so happy. And thank you, Nico Harrison, by the way,
Yeah.
for for gifting the Lakers the
Yep.
next 5-7 years of contention.
Yep.
It's just having that superstar that can command the floor, and
Yeah.
we've talked about the spacing. We've talked about how different this offense is now with Luka in there. And again, that's not to disparage LeBron or his accomplishments, but this is a different team. This is now, you kind of feel that this team is much more legit now.
Yeah.
I think this team is. I mean, this team is even probably better than the 2020 team, if you ask me.
I'll totally agree with that. You know, like as good as the 2020 team is defensively, like you're seeing some of that, some of those characteristics that we had in the 2020 team, you know, carry over to this squad, especially, you know, the mindset. JJ's mindset is, you know, you can tell JJ Redick is a coach that hates to lose.
Yeah.
Like and I've read about this, and you know, this is what they observe with JJ Redick, is that when they lose, he is that type of coach who will actually go back to the drawing board and say, hey, why? It's like he's kind of like that coach, or that that team leader who always, you know, who will go to the root cause as to why, what happened in this game, what do we need to work on for the next game. That's his approach. That's his mindset. You know.
I agree. I think JJ is probably the best hire they could have made. One of the best moves that the Lakers really made this past offseason was hiring him. So you watch a lot more Lakers basketball than I have, admittedly. The comparison for JJ, or at least the hope, was that he's the next Pat Riley. What would you? Is that accurate? Would you agree with that?
JJ is the next Pat Riley. Oh my goodness. Well, they have the same. You know, I mean, Pat Riley was Pat Riley's very fiery. The difference, I think, between Pat and JJ is JJ's attention to detail is a little bit more, I guess, refined. Pat Riley was I just, and this is just based on, you know, what I've read, you know, regarding Showtime era Lakers. Pat Riley, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Pat Riley struck me as like a big picture type of coach.
Right.
You know, execute, run the fast break, you know, play aggressive defense, and you know, you're gonna get the results. And Pat Riley was, again, correct me if I'm wrong, was a master motivator. Pat Riley was the type of coach who, you know, who just had a way to really influence his players, and really be able to, like, get in their heads, get in opposing teams' heads. That's who he was. You know, he played the part perfectly. JJ, I think JJ has that same fiery approach. I don't know if you've seen that one clip where he laid into Dalton Connect.
Yeah.
It's like
that was your fucking play.
Fucking play. You know?
That's your fucking play.
That's a Pat Riley move right there. But I think JJ is owing to him, you know, being, you know, owing to him considering himself like a basketball geek.
Right.
Being, you know, he's more of a specific, you know, attention to detail type of coach. So I think that's the difference. But is he the next Pat Riley? There's, I mean, 82, 85, 87.
I mean, look, it's the championship.
He's 4 championships away. So
there's a huge potential for that, though. So
the potential is there, though. Yeah, I will totally agree. The potential's there. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, look, so whatever LeBron decides to do at the end of the year, right? So if he comes back for one more year, or he announces retirement or whatever, there's going to be some cap space for them to play with.
Oh, yeah.
So, again, LeBron is still playing very well for a guy his age. It doesn't really... So, he's definitely going to be... Look, the trapping defense that opponents would use to the Lakers, that's not going to happen with LeBron in there.
No,
right? So
no.
you're essentially
Yeah.
if you trap Luka, right, or if you trap or blitz
If you
Luka,
trap Luka and LeBron, so he's gonna have a field day. You know, take the
you're
ball to
essentially
LeBron.
giving man, you're essentially giving LeBron a 4-on-3 advantage with a
Right.
lot of space.
Yeah.
Just remember that LeBron the big difference with AD is that they would sometimes pass the ball to AD, I believe, around the free throw line
Yeah.
and try to get him to play make from there when
Yeah.
LeBron was hard doubled or
It just
whatever.
wasn't. Yeah.
But
It
now
wasn't
if you
effective.
double Luca on the left wing, he passes to LeBron on the right wing, and he now has a 4-on-3.
That's
That's,
either
that's
that's either a three or a dunk.
that's a free point. That's a free point, really. That's essentially
Yeah.
you're give if
Yeah.
you decide to blitz Luca. I think JJ even did this. Um if you blitz Luca, he said something like if you blitz Luca, you die or something like that.
Yeah.
Because because you're essentially giving the Lakers a 4-on-3 advantage. When
Yeah.
I mean, LeBron is still a top 10 NBA player. You're giving that kind
Yeah.
of player
And
a 4-on-3, really,
Yeah.
with a lot of that much space. So it's essentially free points for them.
yep.
So I
And
don't
who
I don't
else
think
is
that.
there? Like Austin Reeves is there. You know.
I mean, Austin Reeves is as
Yeah.
look. We didn't even talk about Austin, but he scored. I believe he averaged 30 points or
Yeah.
something crazy like that
Right.
when LeBron was out.
Crazy.
Come on, man! You
Yeah.
essentially have 3 guys on that team who can play, make, and score 30 points.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. And we're
Yeah.
not even talking about the bench yet. Gabe Vincent has been amazing.
Yeah. Dalton Connect.
Dalton Connect has been great.
Yeah.
Jackson Hayes, we already talked
Jackson
about him.
Hayes.
And Rui Hachimura is not even back yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think from my perspective, this is definitely better than the 2020 team. Sure,
Right.
defense is bad. Right? Let's
Right.
give them that. But
Mhm.
what they did was essentially turn down the defense and crank up the offense. This
Crank
is
up the offense. Yep.
in net rating. I believe that there was a metric that they said that the Lakers were probably 4th in net rating or something
Mhm.
crazy like that. They're on their way. I think the only thing that is keeping this team from being a sure thing is health. Really,
Health.
I think they can
Yeah.
beat any team any given night as long as they're healthy.
Speaking of Rui is playing. He's already played 5 minutes. So yeah.
So it's a good game
Yeah.
for them to come back to because Chicago is not really a good team.
Yeah.
They definitely should be tanking, but they're not. I
Yeah.
think Kobe White is playing very very
Kobe White's
well right now for
playing-
them.
He hit his first 4 shots.
So
Crazy.
it's just how it is.
Yeah.
I expect the Lakers to just. Luke has been great, so that's good. So once
Right.
LeBron,
Mhm.
once Rui, and once Austin get going, and then they hopefully win.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about Bronny, but
Yeah.
kind of let's probably do that next week.
Right.
I do have some thoughts about that.
Yeah. Mhm.
Good game for him though. Milwaukee career high.
Yeah.
Career high 17
Yep.
points. There was actually one time when I think it was middle of the third quarter or something where he was leading the Lakers in scoring.
Yeah.
Imagine what would happen if Bronny James ended up being the Lakers leading scorer for
gosh.
one game.
That was.
Imagine.
Oh my goodness.
But look, I mean, we'll talk about it, but
Yeah.
not now. And this
Yeah.
is something to do with him and LeBron, his dad, and Stephen A. So that was a bit funny.
Yeah.
I want
Stephen
to
A.
talk about that.
I mean,
We'll
I
leave that for.
I really haven't gone to the bottom of the feud, the beef between.
Oh, let's talk about it. Let's
Yeah.
talk about it. I mean,
Yeah.
look. I'll play something. I'll show you what. So what happened basically is this.
Mhm.
This all started from when. Remember when, they essentially JJ put Bronny in the. I think it's in the middle of the first quarter or something.
Right. Yeah.
And then he essentially stunk up the place.
Uh-huh.
And so yeah, let's what happened was Bronny was essentially cooked by Tyrese Maxey, and
Right.
then they were down and whatnot. So
Yeah.
Stephen A essentially Stephen A said this. I'm gonna play it right now.
Yeah.
Respectful as I possibly can be towards LeBron James.
Look at Matt.
I am pleading with LeBron James as a father. Stop this. Stop this. We all know that Bronny James is in the NBA because of his dad. The first game of the season, opening night, the Griffies in attendance, father-son duo playing in an NBA game for the first time, an absolutely positively wonderful story. And then reality sets in. We love what we're seeing from him in the G League because that's where you belong. As you hone your skills and you get better and you legitimately earn, which I believe he has the potential to do. I am rooting for Bronny James. Mm-hmm. It would be cruel to root against him. He's a wonderful kid. I wish him nothing but the best. But he's LeBron James' son. And everybody knows what attention that brings. Mm-hmm. Molly, Doggy, put them up on the screen because I want to see their face when I say this. Right now, Bronny James is averaging 0.3 points, 0.3 assists, and 0.4 rebounds. You know what people are saying. You know what they're going to do to this kid. You know what these numbers mean. You know what it's going to do to your son, to people who are missing out on opportunities, that are busting their tails on other NBA teams in the G League, in Europe, and everywhere else. What kind of opportunity they're starving for. You're exposing your son like this. I'm not trying to be disrespectful in any way. I'm simply saying to have that moment on game one of the NBA season is one thing. To propel it to a point where he's on the bench, he's in uniform, he's taking up a roster spot, and now you're giving him time in the first quarter, and you see the absence of production. How are you helping him? I just don't get it. I really don't see. I really don't get it. I really don't.
So that was it. So Stephen A went on a classic rant, right? So he kind of pleaded to LeBron as a father, right? As a father, dude. And so I think it was a game against was it New Orleans or something like that when Stephen A was courtside and LeBron came to him and again. Yeah. Let's keep it in check here. LeBron doesn't do anything spontaneously. Yeah. Everything he does is curated and planned. Yeah. Right? When he came up to Stephen A, that was planned. That was 100% part of the plan. And he came up to him and said basically, don't bring Bronny to this shit. Don't talk about my son. Blah, 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 blah. Don't shit on Bronny. Don't shit on my son or something like that. Yeah. So, they did that in the middle of the game. So I think there was I think it's in the middle of the third quarter or something. Right. I saw the sign of the half court shot. Right. The guy was taking a half court shot that was there. So he did this in the middle of a timeout within the game, and then obviously he went viral. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what he wanted to do. Whatever. So essentially what happened was Stephen A went on Gil's Arena. He went on. He went on his own show talking about this. Yeah, he talked about this. So basically, he explained himself in such a way that he's not demeaning LeBron as a father. That wasn't the point. He wasn't shitting on the kid, really. Right. It's more of,
it's not personal. Talked about this. It's not personal. It's professional.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He was criticizing an NBA player, number one. Yeah. And number two, he was essentially mentioning that the only reason why Bronny James was even in the game, and we talked about this, is because of his dad, really. Yeah, yeah. So they felt that they could put him in against a bad team, and they could have a moment. Right. Bronny could ball out, whatever. And it was just horrible for them. This is where that feud essentially started. So, what do you think?
I totally get it. Reiterate what Stephen A. Smith says. I'm not shitting on Bronny James. We're all like, if you're a legit Laker fan, you should be rooting for Bronny James. Yeah, you should wish him the best. The kid came from a major health scare at USC. The fact that he's even getting some minutes in the G League is already a blessing to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is the skill set that he has is not this consistent skill set that one has developed in order to legitimately acquire and maintain a roster spot in the NBA.
Yeah.
17 points, great, awesome. I'm so happy for Bronny.
He was great.
In that sense.
He was great in that game. Yeah.
But again, that consistency that you need in order to fill a roster spot is not there yet. It's not there. And this is what Magic Johnson was saying, you know. Get him in the G League first. Have him develop his skill set in the G League. And after that, once he develops in the G League, then, you know, then maybe that roster spot, you know, becomes a more deserving roster spot for him. You know?
Yeah, and that's what they've been doing, really. So,
Yeah.
look what happened. So the South Bay Lakers' best player at one time was essentially Maxwell Lewis, right? So
Yeah.
obviously Max Lewis is with, I believe, Brooklyn right now.
Yeah.
So what they had now is that they have Jordan Goodwin in there, which
Right.
we're going to talk about in a bit,
Right.
and they have Bronny James there. So
Yeah.
those are the two guys who essentially are the stars, really. So
Yeah.
if you check the advanced numbers, Bronny James is probably his usage in the G League is crazy.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, right? That's what you want, right? That's what you want that kid to do, and
Yeah.
he's been doing well in the G Leagues.
Yeah.
You know, considering what he's gone through and what's happening to him in the circumstances and
Right.
whatnot. But if we're talking about a guaranteed spot on this 15-man roster, right? Right now they're having trouble because you have Trey Jemison,
Yeah.
and you have Jordan Goodwin, who
Yeah.
are two-way players, by the way, playing well.
Yeah.
Now, the rules say that if you want them to play in the playoffs, and this is probably where LeBron is coming from, if you ask me, if you want two-way players to play in the playoffs, you have to convert them to guaranteed deals.
Guaranteed contract.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right now the Lakers have 15 players, which is the maximum that you have for guaranteed
Right.
slots.
Yeah.
Now, what's going to happen is you essentially have you're going to have to cut two, really.
Right.
So the prime candidates are, well, understandably, Alex Len and Cam Reddish. So you'd have to
I
cut
heard
those
they
two.
are gonna waive. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna waive. They're gonna waive those two guys.
Yeah.
So they can sign Trey Jemison and Jordan Goodwin.
And
Because
Jordan
Jordan Goodwin playing amazing. I think he's a poor man's. I'm gonna die on this hill. Jordan Goodwin right now is doing what Alex Caruso was doing for them before.
Yeah.
It's not that effective. He's not
Right.
there at that.
Yeah.
Alex was on a different level, but
Right.
whatever Alex was doing, Jordan's trying to do that.
He's trying to do that.
That's how
Yeah.
what I see him doing. He brings the hustle, really. That's what I like. And
Yeah.
JJ has talked about this. What Jordan Goodwin is doing to the team is not showing up in the box score, which is great. What you want. And obviously Trey Jemison in a team that's deprived of size. That's why they signed Alex Len in the first place.
Yeah.
Trey Jemison has been that energy guy. He
Right.
kind of looks like Tyreek Black. He kind of looks like
Tariq, Tariq. Or what's his name? Coloco.
I forgot.
No.
Well, Coloco's also a two-way, so
Yeah.
you know you got three two-way players that are. Let's face it, they're playing very well, and they're playing
Yeah.
better than Bronny has ever played. So Bronny has that 17-point
Yeah.
night career high, whatnot.
Yeah.
Good job. Again, we're happy for the guy,
Right.
right? We're happy for the kid.
Yeah.
But he shouldn't be on the guaranteed roster for this.
Yeah.
And you can argue that he's only even getting all this opportunities because his dad is LeBron James.
Yeah.
And that's what Stephen A was saying, really.
Yeah. I
Right.
think what Stephen A is also saying is that, hey, if he's addressing LeBron the way that, hey, if you really want your son to have to have a stable career in the league, you have to accept that he has to grow in the G League. You can't shortcut it for him. So I remember my own experience when I was learning how to play ball. I had this I had this move where I would I would step my non-pivot before dribbling, and the referee in our Sunday basketball games always call it travel. And I was complaining to my dad about it. It was like, and you know what my dad did? My dad was like, he told the ref, keep calling that travel, so he learns.
Yeah.
And that's
And,
what.
and
That's
you're,
what yeah.
yeah,
And you learn from that stuff, you know. So,
right.
yeah.
And that's the thing, right? That's what I agree, right? So Stephen A. wasn't insulting LeBron as a father.
No, he
Stephen A.
wasn't.
wasn't
Yeah.
insulting Bronny. He was essentially criticizing LeBron. Why are you letting this happen to your son?
Constructively. Yeah.
And he that's what he said as well. Why are you doing this to your son? This is you. This is the only reason why Bronny's even getting this much playing time. The reason, and if you watch Laker games, even garbage time, you see that they're actively trying to get Bronny to shoot. That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of funny that Dalton is there with him because Dalton takes all the shots when he's there.
Yeah.
And that was there. I think there was a joke before that. Dalton got traded because he was taking away garbage time shots from Bronny. But again, they're giving Bronny all this opportunity, and he's essentially what it is—a nepo baby. That's what he is, right? But so that's what Stephen A's point was, and I think, again, I think LeBron just wants Bronny to play in the playoffs.
Yeah.
For whatever fucking reason, but that's just what it is, right? Yeah. He's not supposed to be on this guaranteed roster slot.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be on a two-way.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be the G League with some typical NBA playing time every once in a while, but he's taking away. Look, instead of and I'm not saying Cam Reddish is a good player. I'm not saying Alex Len is a good player, but both of those guys are better than Bronny at this point. They can contribute to this team.
Right.
They can give more to this team than Bronny at this point. Now, if you wanna, and Koloko, Goodwin, and Jemison are better than Bronny at this point. But if you want to use him in the playoffs, now you have to cut someone who's actually deserving to be there in the first place.
Yeah,
that's the problem here. It's not about is Bronny an NBA player? Is Bronny this that? Is Bronny because of that? The problem is he's taking up a spot that should be for someone else.
It's all shortcuts for I mean, perfect example. Michael Jordan. Why was Jordan allegedly cut from his high school team? He wasn't cut. He would tell people, "Oh, I got cut from my high school team." No, Jordan was not cut. He was put on JV. Why? Because the coach knew that he was going to develop better as he was a sophomore. He was going to develop better on the JV, and better prepare him for when he goes up to the varsity. It's just that Jordan just used that as fuel, for his competitiveness. Jordan, he's petty. So he's gonna he cut me. No, he put him on JV. Jordan averages 40 on the JV squad. So now when he goes to the varsity, he has that confidence to dominate on the varsity because he already had that that confidence playing in the JV. So it's the same thing,
And that's what you want for Bronny, right? If you're LeBron,
absolutely.
and that's again, nothing against the kid, nothing against his future, whatever. I know we shit on him here. I still think that Bronny and LeBron are gonna be the first father-son duo to retire at the same time. I think that's gonna be the same. But LeBron is not helping things by forcing the issue. And look, the kid has improved, right? Those shots that he made, he wouldn't have made that before.
Right. Yeah.
So does he have skill? Sure.
Yeah.
He's definitely has skill. But at this point, for this team that's trying to contend, you want to be the best version of the team as possible, and having Bronny James in that 15-man roster is not the best way to use it.
It's not the best move. Yeah.
So I mean, props for Stephen A. to standing up. That was another legendary Stephen A. rant, by the way. I think.
Yep. It's on that level of Kwame Brown.
Kwame Brown, Bonafide Scrum. There's probably that one on there, and I want to play. He basically just closed the deal on his podcast. I might play that next week. Let's talk about that.
All right.
But, that's probably it for this week, right? So we're looking forward to some games in the Lakers. side. So they're currently down 6 points, which is weird to the Bulls.
Weird.
I think they're still finding their. I mean, they have pieces back. Fine.
Yeah.
LeBron looks like he's still maybe feeling something, but we'll see.
Right. We'll
so again, they got a 4-game road trip coming up after this game against Chicago, and one back-to-back Indiana and Chicago. That's gonna be gonna be crucial. But it's and then again, games against Memphis, games against Houston, Golden State, OKC.
Let's see what happens.
That's gonna be a great end to the season. We'll see what happens. Where they're at this week.
Cool.
All right, that's it for us.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't even touched about your Japan trip. We got to talk about that. We got to talk about that next time.
All right.
So,
awesome.
all right, but that's it for us. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you, and again, just follow us on our socials.
Yep. Hit that subscribe button. Whether it's YouTube, X, Spotify, we're on.
We're gonna try to update most of them.
All right.
But that's it for us. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Thanks for coming.
All right. Peace.